Two, one.
Hey, Sacramento, it is Wednesday. You are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we are selling Sacramento. On today's show, down payment assistance and rental assistance. Yes, get your pens and papers. If you are a homeowner or looking to buy, I should say, this is information that you want to know. We actually had my guest who's on the show today on the show before. It's probably been a couple of months now, but we've got him back again. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank him in advance for agreeing to come on the show on a regular basis now to give us regular Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency updates. They are doing quite a bit over there. If you've ever heard of SHRA, you may have only heard of them in one vein, but they do a multitude of things. They oversee many different facets of housing. And so I am excited to introduce my guest again, Mr. Tyrone Roderick Williams. Sir, how are you?
Oh, I am well, and I am just happy to be joining you again and looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. Williams is the Deputy Executive Director and of Development. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
That's correct. So
now,
I'm the money guy. I'm the money guy.
That's right. And then there's also, it says Director of the Sacramento Promise Zone.
Yes, and that's a special designation that we have here in Sacramento that allows us to leverage federal and state dollars. So it brings even more resources into our community. So at SHRA, we've got a lot of hats, and those are just a few that I wear.
Yeah, so that's why we're excited to have you coming on the show on a regular basis. I think it's important that people understand exactly what SHRA has their hands in here in Sacramento, because we see you so often, and we're going to hear about you, hear about your organization even more as time progresses, because there's so many things that are just coming right down, it's on its way. So we're excited to have you on today talking about the rental program, the rental assistance program, and the down payment assistance program. Let's start with the most pressing one, I think, because it serves two individuals, which is the rental assistance, because it serves renters and landlords. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, fill us in.
So the SHRA, the Sacramento Emergency Rental Assistance Program, is really designed to help individuals who are behind in their rental payments as a direct result of loss of income or loss of job due to COVID-19. And so Congress has passed funding that's available. And we are administering that funding for the city and the county. So if you, either one, wherever you are, this may apply to you. And so what we have a process where we're working with a number of organizations to help get the word out. And I thank you, Key, for helping us. But there is help. That's the major thing. There is help. And we have people who are here to help you get connected. And so the whole purpose is to do two things. One is to help you catch up on your back rent, but also if continuing to make rental payments is a real challenge, it also provides the opportunity to cover a significant portion of those upcoming rental payments. If you are a landlord and you have a resident or family in one of your homes, and they're having difficulty, you can apply yourself on behalf of your tenant. And so either way, whether you're a landlord or whether you're a resident who's having a challenge, we've got help. And so that information is on the SHRA website, and that's strolling down on the screen, but it's SHRA.org. SHRA.org. You go to our website and you will see a banner that says Sacramento Emergency Rental Program, SHRA. You click on there and it will help you through and connect you to all of the resources that you need. Now, in the past, we had a window of opportunity where we received applications and then that window closed, and we've been processing those payments. Now, the good news is the window is going to remain open. So if you didn't know about it before, it's not too late. If you have a friend or family member or an enemy that you have who's behind in their payments, please share this information with them. Because, and the great new twist to this funding is that it covers your utility payments. So if you're behind in rental or utility payments, this is an opportunity to get caught up and really hopefully reposition yourself financially as you prepare to move forward. And we're really excited about the additional funding. So we have there is funding available. So do not apply because you think the money's going to run out. We've got a total of $90 million for the county. So they're looking at a long-term possibility that folks are going to really be financially challenged.
Now, this $90 million, this is for Sacramento?
Sacramento City and County combined.
City and County, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the Sacramento region, the 90 million.
Absolutely.
Wow. So we definitely want to take advantage. If you're listening out there and you're facing some economic hardships with your rent or your utilities, even the utilities, go to the SHRA.org website. Look for SERA, SHRA, Sacramento Emergency Rental Assistance tab. Click on that and apply today. Even though Mr. Williams said the money is there and it's a lot of it, but we don't want to delay, right?
No. And we are processing applications quickly. This is, even though we are a governmental agency, we're not that bureaucratic. We understand that people are applying because they need the money now, or landlords need the money now. And so we have a whole team of very informed, qualified individuals and a listing of nonprofit organizations who are doing special outreach and assisting applicants in completing those applications. So we're here to help and glad to be able to share this opportunity.
Awesome. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about home buyers. SHRA has their hands in the home purchasing arena as well. And tell us about this $22,000 grant for home buyers.
Well, at the end of March, we announced the Community Homeownership Initiative. And the Community Homeownership Initiative is a partnership between the Federal Home Loan Bank and Union Bank and the Sacramento Realtors Association. The goal is to help people get over the major hurdle of down payments to get into home ownership. And so we have a special program where we are promoting that through the Federal Home Loan Bank, you could qualify up to $22,000. And through our Union Bank partnership, you could get an additional $6,000. And so there's the possibility or the opportunity for a prospective home buyer to have up to a total of $28,000 toward their down payment assistance and closing costs. And we have a number that's scrolling on your screen now, Community Homeownership Initiative, 916-870-4765. We'll repeat that in a second, but you can call that number and we'll connect with you. We have people who are there to assist you, who are experts in both the completing out what's needed to complete the application. We are receiving applications now. Even as we speak, there are people working on finding their homes. They've been pre-approved for the program and they're in the market looking for that new opportunity. And so I encourage you to call that number, which is 916-870-4765. Get the information, get connected. This may be your year, or if it's not, you'll get the information that you need to begin to put yourself into position to be able to be a homeowner if that's a goal for you or your family.
Now, one of the things that I like about this particular grant is that it is not going away. It's been around for quite a while, and it was you who brought it here to Sacramento, correct?
Well, I'm about creating opportunity. Everything that we do at SHRA is about opening doors of opportunity, whether it's a door to a rental home, a door to your own home that you purchased, a door to an opportunity to increase training and development. So whenever we find an opportunity, we want to promote it. And so this has been around for decades, but in Sacramento, it's not been promoted, and that is changing. And Key, you're helping us do that, and we really appreciate that.
We appreciate doing that for you. We appreciate doing that for us. We have a question from Miss Shanika. She says, do you have to go through additional underwriting to use the $22,000 down payment assistance, and is it going to delay escrow? Excellent question.
There is underwriting, but Union Bank is the lender on that, and so they're underwriting you for a mortgage at the same time they're underwriting you for the down payment assistance. So it doesn't add to the length of time, and we've layered that so that there isn't that delay.
Awesome. So it sounds like they have to get pre-qualified through Union Bank. So if you are using a lender, are there other lenders who are qualified to do this, or only Union Bank?
There are other lenders, but they have to be members of the Federal Home Loan Bank. And these lenders have been around for decades as well. Most of them have never shared this opportunity or this program with their lenders and or with their depositors, which I think is really tragic, to have a resource like this but not think enough of your depositors to at least share with them the opportunity. But Union Bank has stepped up, and so I would suggest that they give the call and get connected to Union or any other. But Union is all prepared and ready to go, and they're cranking out the pre-approvals, and the system is working quickly, and we appreciate that.
We have a question to repeat the phone number. It's scrolling across, but let us know the number again for those who are listening on the air.
916-870-4765. If you go to our website, and when I mean the SHRA website, and there's a little panel that's on the website that says, I want to. And you can click and scroll down. You can find out, I want to apply for the SHRA program. I want information on the Community Homeownership Initiative program. And Key, we've got one other program, and it's called Welcome Home program. Now, in the Welcome Home program, SHRA has acquired and totally rehabilitated homes from the foundation to the roof. So they look brand new. And we have some of those homes on our website. And so you can also click after I want to get help to buy a home. And on that, you can find that. And those the down payment and closing cost assistance is really targeted, at least the $22,000 is targeted for people at 80% AMI or below.
So those are income-based purchases.
Yes. For a family of four, that's about $69,000 a year. Mm-hmm. However, if you are above that, that's where the Union Bank grant comes in, because it doesn't have an income limit. So regardless of what income range you're in, we've got an opportunity that can assist you into getting into a home if that's what you want to do.
So if they're already in escrow, can they qualify?
You have to already have gone through the Union Bank process to access those funds. And so that would be a little challenging at this point if you're already in escrow.
So We are supposed to take a break right now, but if you have a few minutes, I'd like to chat about.
My time's your time, Fred. Look,
Okay.
I'm on your show.
Okay. We're going to take a break after we have this little, what very important chat.
Okay.
Before we started the show, I expressed to you a small concern that I had that buyers who are the most vulnerable, in particular, Black and brown individuals, throughout the real estate market history timeline, seem to have incentives thrown at them at the height of the market when there's a potential economic downturn looming. And I asked you what your thoughts were about that, because I tell my buyers, as a result, this may not be the time, even though the 22,000 is great and wish we could have had it 5 years ago. And then I wouldn't have to be saying this, but I think that we need to be careful. There are some precautions that we need to take as vulnerable buyers. And can you share with us what your thoughts were about that as well?
Sure. And my comments were based on firsthand knowledge. So I have made some horrible mistakes and rebounded. And I always say this, as you said, Keith, we wish that we were in a different market, but we are where we are. And anyone who's buying a home needs to be absolutely sure that you are not buying a house, regardless of whether you get down payment assistance or not, that puts you at the highest level of using your income to stay in. You don't want to be a house poor, which means that you pay for your house and you have no money to even live comfortably. And so there are cycles, and we are at the height of a cycle, and there are always market corrections. That means there's recessions and there's depressions. So we say 2008, but I would encourage anyone not to maximize. You're going to always be given some ratios, or you could pay, don't buy a house at the top of your approved amount. If that means then that if there's a hiccup in your income, then you're left out there in the cold. We don't want to be talking about foreclosures and quick sales and all of those things. So it is the most important buying decision that most families will ever make.
Right.
And it is worthy of caution. And so think that thing through. Always have some extra money. Don't put yourself in a position where you're spending every penny that comes into your house just so you can say you own a house.
Right.
And then there are other ways to do it. Maybe you are buying it with someone else. Maybe you and your family members are putting together. You may need to be creative with your finances so that you don't put your income into peril just to say that you own a house.
I love that, because it is also an investment. It's not just a place to live in, a status symbol. If you can team with someone right now to buy that investment, and if we do incur a potential economic downturn, which does look like it might be on the horizon, and we're not talking about, fallout, that type of thing, but a market correction. The market is actually already starting to move. We're seeing some slowing, and when we come back from the break, I'm going to talk about that. But when the market does correct itself, you will lose equity. If you buy now, in the next few years, you are likely to lose that equity. And so you need to be able to financially sustain. And if you can get into a home with someone else, then you're helping each other financially hold that line in the event that that happens. So don't necessarily look at it as a status symbol and, you got to have your house, you got to have all this. It's an investment, because as Tyrone said before, and he didn't say this while we were on the air, but he said it off the air, what goes up must come down, and what goes down is going to go back up. And it's real estate. And year over year over year, 20, 30, 40 years, it trends upward. So it will continue to go up, but we need to be able to sustain the dips, right?
Yes. Yes.
We appreciate you so much. I'm not going to hold you. I told him we would only have him 10 minutes, y'all. We're going to wear out our welcome and he ain't going to come back.
No, but we are honored to serve this community, and anything that we can do to bring resources and information, we are elated to do that. And at SHRA, we're changing lives. Key, thank you for letting me be on your program. I look forward to future programs as well.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Take care, Tyrone. Talk to you soon. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the stats of April and let you know what's getting ready to happen in real estate in the Sacramento region. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I'm Agent Key, and we'll be right back. We had a question that I didn't. What is the FICO requirement for home ownership grants? And that's great advice. Shanika, are you still there? If you are, I want you to, let's see. Do I have it here? I'm going to roll this number across. This is who you want to contact so that you can get the specifics on the program for that home ownership grant. Contact 916-870-4765. Give them a call at 916-870-4765. And they'll give you the specifics on the requirements for the grant. Thank you all for tuning in. Okay. Wow. I was afraid to ask him that question because I didn't know what he would say.
Did it turn out? Did you ask him that?
Yeah.
So it turned out well.
Yeah. He's good people.
Yeah, I like it.
Don't walk away, don't be so shady. Oh, I gotta get this video ready. Let's see here.
The next 2 nights.
The next 2 nights. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing the lead birthday. My sister and I will be here all night. Date to guards.
Mass Media Group is California.
That's your PSA?
Yes, I've gotta.
It's in here.
Trying to cue it up. It's where? Oh, you got it already? What?
A skill like that.
So you can play it?
Yeah, woman. I got it. I can play it.
Can you play before we come back on the air?
For reparations. Tune in to ETN Media Group YouTube channel Tuesdays at 9 p.m. PST.
We show intro, show outro, voiceover, script copy, 15 and 30-second promos. Check us out at etnmediagroup.com. That's etnmediagroup.com for more info, updates, and to get involved.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's so true. And so if you
Appreciate that.
But I look up to my real life icon, my dad, and call him anything less than great. His warm arms, I define all of my fears. And as my time for others grows near, I'm reminded that women marry men just like their
Feel like
fathers.
a
And I
editor
hope that's true.
Oh, okay. I knew that there was something you'd have to do. So you can see that it's a 30-second.
Awesome.
I got to say, just play it. That's why. My tablet said, oh, that's me. Ooh, I thought my tablet was doing that. I was like, yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
No, but I want to do it. The
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we started out today's show with information about Sacramento's rental assistance program, as well as Sacramento's home buyers grant program. And that is all through SHRA. And if you're just now tuning in, go to shra.org and you'll find information on the rental assistance program, also under the SHRA tab, and then information about the down payment assistance program if you're a buyer. The market for April, we are now in May. This market, it is unlike any other that we've ever seen. And before we went on break, I was speaking with Tyrone Roderick Williams, the deputy director over at SHRA, and we had that tough conversation, that tough little chat that goes along with the excitement of buying a home. You've got to count the costs. And so what does counting the costs look like in this market? We know that prices are out of the water. We know that to be competitive as a buyer, if you don't know, to be competitive as a buyer in this market, not just in Sacramento, but across the US, you are going to be either paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 above the list price just to get your offer accepted, or you're going to be removing a ton of contingencies. And what are contingencies? Contingencies are conditions. You'll buy the house if this. Well, a lot of people are saying, well, take away all of those ifs, we'll buy the house. And, you know, a huge condition is a home inspection. Buyers are actually throwing home inspections out the window and saying, hey, we're going to make this offer and we're not going to do any inspections. We're going to get this house closed faster. We're waiving the appraisal contingencies. And those are things that traditionally protect you during the purchase process, because you never know what you're going to get from someone who's selling a home resale. If it's not brand new, you don't know the condition of the home. And so you need the inspections and the appraisal, the roof inspection, pest inspection, all of those things give you the security that you need to know that the purchase that you're making is legit and worth what you're paying. But because there's such limited inventory, because of the pandemic, because of low interest rates, the market is super competitive right now, and beyond super competitive. So my advice to my buyers has been this: unless you plan to stay in the home for at least 5 years or more, now may not be a good time for you to buy. If you are planning to just hold it for a couple of years and then sell and move, you might lose a lot. You stand the chance to lose a lot when the market starts to correct, because it will. One of the issues of the limited supply in housing is the lumber supply and labor supply. Last year, at the start of COVID, lumber supply companies did not order as much lumber, assuming that COVID was going to stop people from buying homes. And a few months later, people started buying again, possibly because the interest rates dropped. We don't know. But as a result, they are now playing catch up. But they want to catch up. They don't not want to catch up. The lumber supply companies are trying to fill those orders now. So what's going to happen? Homes are slowly going to trickle back onto the market a little more. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read some stats that's going to let you know that that's the case. And we're going to see, when there is more inventory, when there are more options, when people have more options, there's less competition and the prices go down. They're not going to fall out. They're not going to just completely drop, but they are going to fall. Or what I like to say, and I'm sure some others in the industry, stabilize. So I know some of you who are listening might be saying, what is little black lady in Sacramento? Who does she think she is? So I want to share a clip. If you've been listening to my show, you know that that's what I've been saying for several months now. So I want to share a clip from Money Market News, and they're saying pretty much the same thing. Let's see if we can get this on here.
You are a buyer and you're out there, you have to get creative. At least where I live, I'm not really seeing anything that is going for asking. It's certainly above asking, but then, you're still in competition. Some people are showing up with cash. So what are some of the things that buyers are waiving or foregoing now so that they can get the winning bid on a home?
Yeah, I mean, this is really unusual. The realtors and economists I spoke to said they've never seen a market like this before. And so what's happening is that because there's so much competition for a limited number of homes on the market, is that buyers are going to what in normal times would be considered extremes to win a bid. And a lot of those techniques include waiving contingencies. And contingencies are conditions. Basically, one of the most common ones is the inspection. Before the pandemic, people would insist on, I need an inspection on the house before we can close, because you're taking on a lot of risk when you buy a home. You want to make sure, all right, the foundation isn't cracked, the roof isn't going to fall in, this house is going to be a good investment. But the problem is that there's so many people willing to buy the homes that are out there that buyers are waiving that contingency. They're saying, I'm going to buy that house even without an inspection. And that seems like, taking on a lot more risk for buyers. And that's something that buyers need to really think through and maybe take a couple of steps to try to protect themselves if they can. One buyer I spoke to said, well, I did waive the inspection, but I did a walkthrough inspection. So while I was touring the home, I brought an inspector with me, and they checked out just the basics, like just to make sure the foundation's okay, the roof's okay. The little things, though, like the more thorough inspection that you would do in a typical closing, he did not get done. And so, that's something that, buyers have to be comfortable with if they're in a very hot market.
Mm-hmm. What are economists saying, though, about this market? We know there are ups and there are downs. Things have been trending upward for a while now, but we also know there's a significant, portion of the population that was devastated economically by the pandemic. So the people who were able to keep working, keep their jobs, this has been sort of a come up for them, but a lot of people weren't able to. Are economists saying that things will cool off at any point? What's the prediction?
Yeah, I mean, the prediction is that things will slow down a little bit, maybe even out a little bit. Although they're not predicting bargains. They're saying, if you're hoping to find a bargain later this year, it's probably not going to happen. But they do predict that more inventory will come on the market later this year, partially as sellers. Actually, one reason why there's a tight inventory is sellers don't want to, or homeowners don't want to list their homes because they're worried, how am I going to find a home? If I sell my home, the market's so tight, I'm worried that I won't be able to find a new house. So they're predicting that as things ease up a little bit, more people will list their homes. So you see more inventory, and that should even things out. Like maybe you won't see those high price increases that we've been seeing so far this year. So they're saying if you can hold off, it might not be a bad idea to wait a little bit longer. The other thing that economists told me is if you are a buyer that you think you're only going to be in a house for less than 3 years, because of the costs right now of buying a home, many people have to offer over asking price, and the costs of buying a home, like the closing prices, that maybe you should wait. If you're a long-term buyer, you're going to be in a house for more than 3 years, fine, that's a different equation. But if you're going to sell quickly, maybe you need to wait until things kind of die down a little bit or become a little bit more normal.
So you've heard it nationwide. That's a nationwide perspective. And she said 3 years. If you're not planning on being in the house for at least 3 years, I say 5 years. A normal real estate market, the equity percentage that you can expect is typically 3 to 5% year over year. The median price in the Sacramento region rose 11.3% in the past 90 days. That is wild. The price rose 11.3% over the past 90 days. The only other place where increases like that is happening is Bitcoin. And and Bitcoin will do that in just 90 seconds. But that's unheard of in real estate. So we are going to see a correction. There was a question. Justin said, would you recommend waiting until summertime to list or list immediately? Justin, this is a seller's market. If you're going to sell your home, you'd better get in there and sell it now. Because going forward, every day that goes by, the things that have caused us to be in this situation are correcting themselves. So as the lumber builders, as the builders are getting back on track with their schedule, with their supply, as people are starting to get back to work, as the city and states and countries are opening back up, these things are going to get moving again. And if you need to sell and you're trying to get the highest price possible right now, not that you can't get a high price. I mean, if you list your house and it's in good condition, it's in a good location, and you're not upside down on it, it's going to sell. But if you're trying to get this market money, you better put it on the market yesterday. And don't list it for some outrageous price. List it at what the comps say. Don't list it for what you think you can get. List it at what the comps say so that you can then get what you're hearing about. If the comps say your house is valued at $425,000, that the past, few homes in the last 90 days have sold around that price, list it at that. And then let the market drive what you actually get, so that you may end up getting $450 or something else, but don't list it at the $450 because that's what you want to get, even though the comps show otherwise. So hopefully that helps, Justin. Definitely list it now. And Mr. Ryan Lundquist, and I'm reading his stats, y'all know Ryan is our he hasn't been on the show yet. I'm trying to get him on the show. He's just such a busy and highly sought after Sacramento appraiser, but he has great stats and great charts, and I share his information often. His comment is, normal, what's that? Exactly. Did I say normal? I probably did. But yeah, it's a really strange market. So Justin, yeah, I know you're a realtor, Justin. He says, I'm a realtor. I just want to hear your expertise. I'm working on some clients who are somewhat hesitant, just needed more ammo. Thank you. Yep, there it is. Let them know. Right now, this is that window of opportunity if they want to get this market money, if that makes sense. They will still be able to sell. They should still be able to sell, I will say. If the house is in good condition, if it shows well, if it's in a decent location, everybody's got to live somewhere. So the house definitely will sell. And Ryan says he'll come on. He'd love to. Just not doing in-person stuff yet. Can't wait. Well, Ryan, we aren't doing in-person stuff here either. So when you come on, it will be virtual, and we would be honored to have you, sir. So in that vein, I want to go over something Ryan shared, and it's the Sacramento region market update for April. And from this list, I've already read that the median price rose 11.3% over the past 90 days. There were 61% more sales in April, and last April was low. 61% more sales this April. That's when you consider the fact that we have half the inventory from last year, and to sell more, it makes me, it's one of those things where back in 2000, I was licensed back in 2004. I bought a house in 2005. I had to sell it a couple of years later in a short sale. My broker told me, Keisha, this is not a good buy. It was a shotgun house, 3-bed, 2-bath, maybe 1,100 square feet, $2,500 a month, the mortgage. He said, Keisha, that, don't do that. And my thoughts were, well, I'm a real estate agent. I'm supposed to have a house and I need to do this. And he was right. Had I known then what I know now, I would have waited. And there were a lot of people, a lot of specialists, a lot of professionals in the industry who knew what was going to happen. They saw it coming. A lot of people were able to save themselves. Many people and institutions took advantage of other people during that time. And when the chips fell, a lot of people lost their homes. So I feel that we are entering that space again. And so I don't want to say warning. I am advising that you please take precaution. Know what you're getting into. If you can wait, wait. Interest rates are so low right now. Even if they go up to 4% or 5%, that's still a good interest rate. A lot of people remember when they just a few years ago, they were at 5 and 6 and 7%. So even if they go up a whole point or two in the next year, you're still in good position. Wait for more inventory to get on the market. Wait for the inventory to loosen up, for those prices to settle down, so that you're not putting yourself in a bad position financially, because it is an investment. It's not just shelter. It is an investment. And when there is an economic downturn, you should be able to rely on the equity in your home, at least, to sustain you. That is another useful tool of owning a home is for. Continuing down the list of Ryan's market update, the monthly housing supply is 71.8% lower than last year. We have 19 days of listings. Ryan said we could handle easily twice that. Yeah. Half of all sales sold in 6 days or less last month. For 11 months in a row, we've had higher sales volume. 5.8% of all sales in 2021 have been above $1 million. 5.8%. 20.4% of all sales have been below $400,000. We have about 3 weeks of listings. Last year we had 9. And last year was a tight year. We thought last year was a tight year. This year we are in a real estate depression, you all. We're the canned food lines. This is, my engineer says I'm being dramatic. A little. Okay. Maybe I am. But if you talk to my buyers and the ones who keep, getting their offers rejected, and we just keep hearing no, no, no. We had 3 buyers go into escrow last week, which is another point that I want to bring up. I also feel like and I don't like using the word feel. I don't operate out of my feelings. When I say feel, it's because I'm connecting the dots and things are coming full circle. They're coming clear. There's clarity being brought to me about a situation. The market is changing. It's changing. So wait, just wait. Don't be in a hurry. Be anxious for nothing. Y'all know the rest of that scripture. Google it. 75.9% of all sales had multiple offers last month. 75.9. I skipped one that is pretty important. On average, buyers paid $23,700 $23,787 over the list price last month. $23,787 over the list price. That kind of equity, that's equity, you all. When you hear over the list price, if the list price is correct, that means that's what the market was saying that home should sell for. And if someone's paying $23,000 above that, that's money that you're taking out of your bank account, throwing at this house. And it's the reason why I say, if you're buying in this market and you're throwing in extra cash like that, plan to stay for at least 5 years or more, because that's equity. That's your equity that you're using in advance. I'm trying to make sure I'm explaining that right. If you had bought that home without paying the extra 23, that money is supposed to earn itself year over year. The value of the home increases, and it might increase 1 year where you have $10,000 in equity now. The next year you've got $20,000 in equity. 2 years go by, but not $20,000 in equity out the gate before you close escrow coming from you. That means you're going in upside down. Does that make sense? And I really want to make sure that I'm being clear about that. I lost a deal because the seller couldn't find a replacement. You're right. Yeah, Justin. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough out there. So Justin Edwards, we're going to have Justin on the show and come talk about his experiences. Okay. We're going to take a break. Y'all know I get passionate about this. We got to protect you. We are in this space and having this show on this platform to protect you. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I'm Agent Key, and we'll be right back. I was going to look at my 147. Time flies.
It does, and especially when you catch a groove or rhythm.
Yeah.
Right? You were in a great rhythm. The information is great. That's why I want to bug you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Perfect rhythm right now. Okay, when I see you, I'll say, "Damn it!"
I have to remember to take a breath just in case you have something you need to say. Let's see. I want to make sure I get in.
I'm trying to make sure you don't lose your train of thought.
Thank you.
Because a lot of times it's hard to pick it right back up right where you were.
Right.
You end up with a whole other, the feel is different.
Yeah, and I am like that. I don't like to use the word ADHD because there are people who really are, but my attention span is very short. And so if you say something to me and like, what was I doing? Yeah, as I get older, I'm now walking around looking for my glasses and they're right here.
Listen, I'll walk right into the front room and forget what it was I was going to do. I'm like, what did you come in here for?
10 steps. And it's like, wait, what was I walking for? Oh, can you run it one more time? Yes, before we come back. I was just supposed to do it once, but because I want to give them.
I just have to know these things.
Right. If we could do it at the beginning of the show and the end of the show, then that would be good. Yeah.
What I have to do is find another PSA that's 30 cents.
Take it. Okay. Right. To replace it with?
No, to add to it.
Oh.
Because your break.
Because it's only at 30. Got it. Is that difficult to do or?
No, not me.
Do you know what you're doing?
Always.
Okay. Then I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, we're good. That's exactly why I pushed the pause.
California Capital's premier YouTube channel focused on reparations, dedicated to political advocacy and unapologetically aimed at shining a spotlight on our righteous justice claim for reparations. Tune in to ETN Media Group YouTube channel Tuesdays at 9 p.m. PST.
We do show intros, show outros, voiceover, script copies, 15 and 30-second promos. Check us out at etnmediagroup.com. That's etnmediagroup.com for more info and updates and to get involved.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago.
So should I tell them to do it for
laughter.
No, 30
Let's go
seconds is
inside
good,
for a
huh?
comment.
As long as it can be 30 seconds to a minute.
Apparently,
As long
they
as it
have
doesn't
no
go a minute.
comment.
Okay.
Dads,
I'm just thinking 30 seconds is, I could have asked him to do it for a minute, but if they can get it in 30
Yeah,
seconds.
as long as it doesn't go over a minute, it doesn't. Oh, shoot.
brought to you by the U.S.
Ooh.
Department
No, as long as it doesn't go over a minute. What it is, it'll just be the PSC 20 minute reaction. But we gotta get the target. I'll call him. So I can put it on the ground.
We are back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we are talking about this crazy market. It is crazy, not only the real estate market, but the rental market as well. And at the top of the show, we had my special guest, Tyrone Roderick Williams of the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency, sharing with us the rental assistance program information. There's over $90 million available. So if you are renting and you are facing a hardship paying your rent, if you are facing a hardship paying your utilities, if you are a landlord and you're facing a hardship paying your mortgage because your tenants are unable to pay, contact the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency at SHRA.org. On their website is another link, SERA, the SHRA program. And that link will take you to the information in the application to complete to get rental housing assistance. Tyrone also shared with us the $22,000 grant program that SHRA is offering through Union Bank. If you are a home buyer, if you're in the market to buy and you are wanting to see if you qualify, there are income qualifications and family size qualifications for this program. So not everyone will be able to apply, but it definitely does not hurt to see if that person could be you. You could use $22,000 in this particular market for sure. So go to the SHRA.org website for that information as well. And I've been sharing stats from the website Sacramento Appraisal Blog. And that's the website of Ryan Lundquist. And like I said before, I share his stats all the time. So you can go there, sacramentoappraisalblog.com, and sign up, join his list so that you can get these stats, so that you can be informed in real time. Ryan is very good at updating this information on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, I went to the Sacramento Realtor website to get the most recent stats, and they only have March up. I went to Ryan's website and he had April, y'all. So he's doing some really deep digging. He's in the trenches. He's an appraiser. He's been a long time appraiser he's been an appraiser for a long time. And he knows what he's doing. And so go to his website, get this information, and watch the trends. I'm saying go to the website, get the information so that you can watch the trends, so that you can see what's happening, so that you can offer up your experiences. If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, if you're an agent, it's almost like a place to convene. He's on LinkedIn sharing information. He's on Facebook sharing information, and he's on Twitter. And you can see these conversations taking place between other real estate professionals as well, as far as what they're experiencing. This information is far more valuable than going to Zillow. This information is far more valuable than going to Redfin. You're going to get schooled in real time looking at this type of information. So I encourage you, stay tuned in here. When I bring someone on the show, these are individuals who I can get behind. I want to make sure that the show stays credible. I want to make sure that you are being properly educated, and that it's the most current information and forward information as well. And as you know, I have other real estate professionals on here also. There's enough business out there for everybody, and we all serve different people, different communities, and we need to get the information out to everyone. So looking at the stats, I want to see if there's anything else on here that I want to point out regarding this market update. Oh, so I'm asked about foreclosures and short sales. So let's talk about that really quickly. Are there foreclosures and short sales on the market? Yes. Are there a lot of them? No. Why not? A property that has been foreclosed on, or that has the potential of being foreclosed on, means that the homeowner was unable to pay their mortgage for whatever reason. In this particular market where equity is up, if a homeowner was unable to pay their mortgage, if you owned a home and you were unable to pay your mortgage, you're not able to pay your mortgage because of the price of the house. You may not be able to pay your mortgage because you lost your job. Something happened to you financially that has prevented you from paying your mortgage. But when you look at the equity in your home, let's say you bought it for $350 7 years ago. Based on what's going on in the market right now, your house is probably worth $450. So you've got $100,000 in equity and you lost your job because of COVID. Are you walking away from that house, or are you going to put it on the market and grab that $100,000 out and keep it moving? So as a result, we are not seeing a lot of foreclosures right now because people don't have to give their homes back to the bank. They would rather put them on the market. If you're going to walk away from the house, you may as well put it on the market and walk away with some money in your pocket, right? So that's why we're not seeing a lot of foreclosures. Short sales, same story. What is a short sale? A short sale is when the owner owes more on the house than it's worth. They are upside down. That is changing. Equity is increasing. And so if you bought your home, so back to our point earlier, those of you who are buying right now, you are buying upside down. You're going in upside down. If there is an economic downturn, you cannot leverage your house. So you've got to be prepared financially to be able to sustain over the next 5, 7, 8 years. Or we're going to see some short sales. That's what's going to happen. But right now we are not. We're not, because people are, they have the equity because prices are on the rise. Unless somebody in the past year needs to sell, chances are, a year from now, you're probably not going to be able to do that without having to come in with some cash to make it close once the market starts to correct itself. Holy fiddlesticks. It's 11:58. I got to go, you guys. You have been listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and remember, if you are doing what you were created to do, I will see you at the top. Dang it! I didn't get to my others. I'm sorry, y'all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time.
I'll see y'all tonight.
Bye.